Hi there, it's Stephanie from Mommy Standard Time and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I am just your very average mother of three. I love to help people save time on the mundane tasks of life so that they can just have more time to savor with their families. So today, we're gonna talk about one of my favorite ways to savor moments with my family, and that is by playing games. There are so many good reasons to play card games and other games with your kids. They are learning important skills, especially social skills like turn taking, being a gracious winner, being a gracious loser, and strategy. So playing games is great, especially from a young age. But the problem that we run into is that sometimes it can be frustrating because you have kids that fine motor-wise, it's hard for them to hold on to their cards and play, all of that. So I have a few ideas to help take this part out of the equation so that you can just enjoy the experience of playing games with your kids. So first up, I'm just gonna tell you, you can buy a card holder. I'll link this below, and they're great, but honestly, my youngest, at her youngest, still struggled with this. There are other things you can just buy and have them at your house. Another option is to repurpose items around your house. So this is homemade. My uncle made this out of wood. Isn't that cute? This is an iPad stand, but this is what Ladybug used at her youngest, her very youngest, learning how to play cards. This is really handy because she can just lay the cards across here. It is a bit of a challenge, like when we play Uno, because we can't see how many cards she has left, but this is really, really helpful. And so you can totally use like a cookbook holder or an iPad stand, anything. And so that's another store-bought / homemade version. But now we're gonna get down to the fun stuff. There are some ways that you can create card holders from things around your house, and I'm gonna show you several of those today. So first up is a little trick that I learned from one of my assistants in my special education classroom. You just flip a box over and you put the cards in the gap between the lid and the box. Now I can just pull one out of my game closet like you can see here, but a lot of times what works even better is if you have one of those photo storage boxes or a shoe box with its own lid, where the lid is not attached to the box. Basically any type of lid that is shorter than the sides of the box. So notice how this game box, the lid goes all the way to the bottom. For some kiddos, it's easier to see the lip of where to put the cards if the lid is a little bit shorter than the box. But overall, this works really well. You're able to play cards on top of the box, and you can each use, your side that's facing you. And as an added bonus, if you use a photo box or some other empty box, you can use that to store all of your card games and then use it as the card holder. This is another one of my favorites because you can make a lot for just $1. If you grab a pool noodle from the Dollar Tree, you can cut little circles out of the pool noodle, and then you just slice about halfway down and create a little slit for the cards. And this one is better for a little bit older kiddos because they do have to hold it in their hand. It doesn't stand on its own, like the box lid. So they do have to hold it, but it is really nice and a very inexpensive way to make a lot of card holders. This pool noodle method is a little bit easier for little hands. You just cut about 1 foot long and then slice the pool noodle in half so that it could stand alone on the table. It lays flat on the table, and then cut a slit down the center. It is best if you don't cut all the way through. You'll see that I did in a few sections. But if you can try to avoid cutting all the way through and then they can just put the cards in the slit. This one can be a little more challenging, but as you see here, Ladybug is 5, and she's able to get them in there. But this is another great way, and I like that it stands on its own. This is another great idea that I got from one of my assistants, and that is just to cut slits in an egg carton. Do whatever you need to do to feel like the egg carton is sanitary and ready to use. But I just used that same serrated knife and cut little slits. I didn't do the best job. I did this very quickly, but again, it's another, if you have a little one visiting and you don't have a way for them to hold cards, using an egg carton is a great way to, whip up a card holder in a hurry. This is another really easy one using plastic lids. I'm just using tape for this video, but you can use a metal brad or a staple or glue, anything. You just stick the tops together, and then you have a little place to put the cards in between. Now this one is more for the fun of it and the experience rather than, having a convenient card holder on hand. But you can totally make a card holder with Lego. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. I'm not going to give you a pattern or anything to follow, because part of the fun of it is to problem solve together and, find a way to hold the cards. So what we typically do though is we have one line across the back that is a little taller, and then down the center a little strip that is about the same height, and then in the front you can have a smaller strip. And so you'll see we have 2 little lines in there to put the cards. Now I would normally suggest having the back line a little bit higher than the front, because that way you can see all of your cards when you have them in 2 rows. But we were in a rush and we did not have enough Legos on hand to do that, so we just did it this way, and as you can see, it totally worked out, and Ladybug was very proud of her card holder. I hope that gave you some ideas for ways that you can help the little hands at your house hold playing cards. Because like I said, it is so awesome to be able to learn a lot of skills like counting, matching, taking turns, all of those types of things you can learn through playing games. But I know that it can be frustrating as a parent to try and maneuver all the rules and the turn taking and the big feelings that sometimes come along with playing games, to try and balance all of that on top of helping them hold their cards. And so I hope that some of these gave you some ideas, because really not all of these work with all kids, and different ages are able to do different things. So try them. Let me know in the comments which ones were helpful for you, and be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell if you want to continue to follow along with Vlogmas. I am posting a new video every day in December. I hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you tomorrow.